Hi guys, thank you very much for returning to my channel and clicking on this video. And if you are new here, welcome to our journey, and I hope you will enjoy this session. Although it is spring here, the weather was crazy last days, and sitting indoors I was in the mood of making a new video and tell you a little bit about our cat Patty. Some of you may know her from our previous videos and some of you may not, so stay tuned to listen to her story. Everything started 3 years ago when we met these 3 little kittens. We wanted to adopt a little kitten for our boys, and she is Penny. She's our first cat. Unfortunately, she was very sick right from the very first night we brought her home, and of course we took her to the vet, and she had a very severe illness, a virus, parvovirus. She was on IV, as you can see in the pictures. We left her there for a whole week and she had very few chances. Fortunately, she made it, and she came back home with us, but it was very rough on her and on us, our kids. Here she is already feeling better, and she was completely recovering in 2 weeks. We even potty trained her, as you can see, and here she is growing beautifully, and she developed into a nice female cat. Even though she is a common European cat, we completely fell in love with her right from the very start, and she was very cute. But I must say, I think that illness at the very beginning of her lifetime has had a toll on her personality, because she was not an usual cat. She was quite cold, quite isolated. She was avoiding people. The only ones she had accepted in our family was our children. Here she is watching over them in their playroom. She was quite comfortable around them, even if she got pranked a lot. She was sleeping with them in the tent. She was sleeping with the smallest one during nap time, and we noticed this especially after we decided to sterilize her. And we took this decision because we live in a quite overpopulated neighborhood with many stray cats, and her being also on the outside, we wanted to avoid any complications or overpopulating with cats that no one wanted. So we left her to live also on the outside. Unfortunately, we were very disappointed when we noticed that day by day she wasn't coming back anymore. It is normal for a cat to stroll all over the neighborhood, and by now everyone was knowing her and loving her, but one day she simply did not return home. And last year in summer we found out that she was run over by a car, and we were very saddened by this news. Then the story of Ivy began. She's another cat we found on the street. She was also quite traumatized. We brought her in. She was very scared, but she was very cute and we loved her very much. She was always hiding, but after a couple of months she became quite comfortable. She befriended our children. She was playful and happy. She even fell in love with us and accepted us. She fell in love with this sweater of mine, and she was constantly sleeping on it until, of course, she peed on it, and then it was over. Even though she was potty trained, she was peeing all over the place. And of course I did not like that, but we said, okay, I think it's time for her to go out. I think she is familiar enough with our family that she will stay. But the first day we took her out, she completely disappeared, and that was it. On the next winter we found ourselves to be taking care of 5 cats simultaneously. They had come and slept all the winter in our porch, and we fed them, of course. We did not let them in, but they had a really warm place and good conditions. And as some of you may have noticed, one of them is Patty. There she is. The next spring, the cats left, all of them. This was in March of 2020, and in May 2020 we were in the middle of the pandemic. We were at home in isolation, and all of a sudden we heard a sound. When we went outside, we found Patty. She gave birth on our terrace. All the babies, 6 of them, were scattered all over the cold stone of the terrace, and we quickly gathered them and put them into this basket. Their mother was very aggressive. Of course, this is normal, and she was protecting her babies. But soon she became friendlier towards us, and she noticed that we want her best, and she gained trust in us, and she even got out of the basket and left the babies by themselves, and she was coming closer to us. Unfortunately, on the same day, 2 of the small kittens have died, so we remained with 4 and the mom, Patty. At the beginning she was so skinny that we had to overfeed her to compensate. Here she is playing around my husband and going back and forth to the basket where the babies are and back to us. Look at them. They were simply gorgeous. We decided to keep 2 of them, the black one and the 3-colored one. The 2 gingers we offered to some friends of ours. So we decided to keep the mom and brother and the sister. We named them Yoda and Kitty, and the kids were very happy about this decision. So it was quite a full summer for us. Even though we were during the pandemic and in isolation, we had this beautiful image in front of us all the time. Here is Kitty sleeping. They grew up so fast. Here is Ginger sleeping. So as I told you, we kept the 2 babies and the mom, of course. And when they grew up to be almost 1 year old, we sterilized both Kitty and Yoda. Look at him. And unfortunately, it happened the same as with Penny. After the sterilization process, both left home. So now we only remained with our cat, Patty. Thank you very much for staying tuned and listening to our story, our cat journey. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up, and see you next time. Bye bye.